Jonah immediately flees in the opposite direction, thinking that he could escape from the presence of the Lord. And he begins to experience turmoil immediately in his life. There may be somebody here today, you know the call of the Lord is on your life, and whether it be to preach behind the pulpit, minister in dance and song, intercession, teaching, whatever the call may be, and you're fleeing in the opposite direction, yet you're wondering why turmoil has entered into your life. I'm just saying. This revelation flow inspired by the book of Jonah. It's entitled, I've Been Called to Preach. I got a call from the Lord just the other day. He's telling me where to go and what to say. There was some folk in Nineveh that he was trying to reach, but this was no telephone call. I was called to preach. He gave specific instructions on what to do and what to say, even what I would experience along the way. Now don't get me wrong, I love the Lord, I really do. But I thought that preaching the gospel was best for people like you. He told me, get on a ship that was sailing to the south, and I caught the first thing floating that was headed north. Paid my fare, I went down, found me a nice secluded space. Little did I know, there was no hiding place. And the Lord would send a storm, and it became violent on the sea, and there was wind and rain, thunder and lightning, waves of 100 feet. Now everybody on the ship, their lives are in jeopardy. These innocent people are dying here, and it's all because of me. I've sabotaged my own turning point because I'm not in my God-ordained space. But little did I know, there was no hiding place. When they discovered it was me that was running from the Lord, and they had no other choice except to throw me overboard, and now I'm drowning in my very own sin. I've been left to die at sea. I sank to the bottom of the ocean as the seaweed began to strangle me, and now I'm locked out of life, imprisoned by death. And just when I thought that I had nothing left, I cried to the Lord with my very last breath, Lord, come and save me from my very own self. There's a call on my life. There's a people I've been chosen to reach. I acknowledge the call of the Lord, and I accept my call to preach. The Lord would hear my cry, and he would come and rescue me. He would snatch me from the jaws of death and place me safely on the beach. This has changed my outlook on life. It changed the direction that I would go, and that's the reason I'm standing here today with this revelation flow. You know that the Lord, he's been trying to get through to you. But you're giving him a busy signal, and you're sending him to your voicemail too. I just want you to understand your decision affects people other than you, baby, your husband, your wife, your family, your church. Your children are suffering too. The Lord keeps calling and calling and calling and calling. And it's you that he's trying to reach. Go ahead and acknowledge the call of the Lord. You got to accept that call to preach. The Lord keeps calling and calling and calling and calling. And it's you that he's trying to reach. But this ain't no telephone call. No. This is your call to preach.